everyone, welcome back to Blueprint DIY. Angelina here, and today I am answering you guys' questions. I have been wanting to do this video for a while, and thank you, Kimmy. Her channel's name is Kimberly Parker. You guys know her. Used to be Sincerely Kimmy, and she encouraged me to go ahead and do this video. She just did one, and I commented that I was scared too that nobody would send me questions, but she encouraged me to go for it, and you guys have sent me 23 questions, which I'm very excited about, so thank you guys so much. And we're gonna get right into it. The first question is from Jada Anderson, and she's one of our young subscribers here. Hi Jada. And she wanted to know, what country do I live in? And I live in the United States, and specifically I live in Houston, Texas. The next question is from Starfish Fashion. Hi, and she wanted to know, have I ever visited Europe? And the answer to that question is yes. I spent 30 days in Europe and the Mediterranean for my honeymoon. We spent 2 weeks in Spain and then 2 weeks in Malta. And then we took a day cruise to Sicily. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and yes, I do want to go to other places in Europe. If you guys have any suggestions of places that I should visit in Europe, please leave them in the comments. The next question is from, and I've practiced this, so hopefully I can get it right. Yo go go yo girl, yo go go yo. What's up? I have practiced that to make sure I got it right, so hopefully I did get it right. But she wanted to know, where did I go to school? I went to school, to college, to university at Illinois Institute of Technology, and it's a tech school much like Caltech or MIT. And I personally think that it is the best architecture school ever. And the reason I feel like that is because they are very hands-on. I guess when you go to a tech school, a lot of times you'll get that. And so I appreciate the education that I received there. I received a 5-year Bachelor's of Architecture degree, and I loved every minute of it. When I went to preview weekend at that school, they took us to the shop class and they let me use a blowtorch, and I figured any school that would let a girl use a blowtorch has got to be awesome. So I went to that school on a full tuition scholarship, and thank God for that, because if it weren't for that, I would not have been able to go to that school. And the next question is from Jackie's World. Hi Jackie. And the question is, what is my career? I am an architect. I'm a licensed architect here in the state of Texas. When I was in college, 19, I got an internship at an architecture firm, and I worked there all the way up until I got married. I had already graduated, and I got married. So my husband was in the Air Force, so we moved to Texas, and I worked for the Air Force as an architect for a little while, and then we moved to Houston, and I got a job here in Houston for about 3 years, where I worked as a project architect for mostly projects that were related to schools and churches. So I've thoroughly enjoyed that. My passion in architecture is, I bet you guys can already guess it because of what I do here on this channel, but my passion for architecture is revitalization. When I was growing up in the town that I grew up in, there was, and is even more now, a lot of dilapidation, abandoned buildings, abandoned homes, and it sparked in me to want to be in the position one day to do something about it. And so that drove me to want to be an architect, and continuously drives my career now. I go back home and I see how it is now, and it's the same as is places like Detroit and different other places all over the world. And it just really, it bothers me a lot. And so I don't like what's done in certain neighborhoods. People just do whatever they want to do and they move on, they pull their businesses, and it just leaves a stain, a stench, and the people there often don't have the resources, the power to do, to revitalize it. So I wanted to get to a position one day where I can go and buy land and revitalize areas, turn them into places that people want to live, places that people want to invest. So that is my passion in architecture. And as we, go along this question and answer, you kind of see how it ties in to what I do here. But, as far as like DIY, that's why you see me doing a lot of taking stuff that I already have and turning it into other things, because revitalization is my passion. I feel like it's my mission, in life. So it goes, it's architecture, it's it goes along with everything in my life. Okay, so Starfish Fashion wanted to know what I do for a living. And shortly after I was licensed as an architect, I started having kids, and the plan was always to stay at home with our children. And so currently I'm a sole practitioner, licensed architect. However, the projects that I was getting was not allowing me to use my creativity, my design skills, and they certainly weren't in the area of revitalization. So, and I also have a LEED accreditation, which is Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design. And that is the, taking care of the planet, making sure that what you do in construction and architecture is not diminishing over time the planet. So what I was doing had nothing to do with those things. And so currently I make a living doing YouTube. And currently that living is not that much, because I just, at the end of last year, almost exactly a year from before this point, I got focused on YouTube and decided that I wanted to commit some serious, effort towards it. And so my channel has grown amazingly over the past year, and I'm definitely grateful for that. But currently, you have to really have a lot of subscribers, a ton of views to make a complete living off of YouTube. So that I'm not there yet. I'm working towards that, but this is what I'm mostly doing currently. And like I said, I'll talk more about how it ties into architecture a little bit later. But yeah, that's currently what I'm doing. So, you guys, if you want to support the ongoing mission on this channel, you can hit this little support button. I don't know what side it's on, but hit the little support button, and anything that you give counts. If you choose to do that, I would definitely be grateful. Okay, the next question is from Jackie's World, and she wanted to know, how did I learn how to sew? I learned how to sew from my mother. She taught me very early how to sew. She's been sewing as long as I can remember. She made her own wedding dress. She made my wedding dress and every church or formal dress I've pretty much ever worn. Well, not church dresses recently, but still, she does still make my formal dresses. So, I learned from her early. I never really had the patience to make full garments for myself, because I am a very focused person. Once I get honed in on something, it's very hard to break my attention from that. And so especially now as a wife and mother, that's not conducive to my life. So I try to focus myself, and that's why I like taking thrifted items and redoing them, because there's a lot of times stuff that I can do in one sitting. So but when I was younger, even as early as 10, I would make doll clothes, and I would go to fairs, and I would sell the doll clothes and make quite a bit of money for a little kid. So my mother taught me how to sew. She taught me entrepreneurship. She taught me to go for it, just go for it. I used to always say, well, I want to ask, such and such for something. And she would always say, well, what's the worst that they can say? And really that all the way to today, when I thought about doing this video, and I was like, well, what if nobody sends me questions? Okay, you'll survive. So thank you, Mom, and thank you, Dad. I do have a dad. He was concerned. I was giving a lot of props to my mom in the last video, so he wanted everybody to know that I do have a dad, and he's awesome. And so But yes, I'm grateful for them and for everything that I learned from them. The next question, Starfish Fashion wants to know, do I know how to knit? My mother did teach that as well. I used to do more crochet when I was a kid. I believe my youngest sister picked up the knitting more. I want to say maybe she still does it, but I don't knit or crochet anymore. I could probably pick it back up if I decided to, but it's at this point in time, it's not something that I do right now. Okay, the next question is from Jada Anderson, and she wants to know what's my favorite thing to do when I get bored. Actually, my favorite thing to do when I get bored is, it's a guilty obsession, but I play Candy Crush. And I am actually on level 890 something. So, yeah, that means there have been times when I've played a lot of Candy Crush. And I've actually had to quit Candy Crush several times because, if you have ever played, then you know that when if you're sitting there playing it, you can like look up and it's been like an hour. So if I want to be productive, sometimes I just have to say no, but so now I'm at the point where, like if I'm just like sitting in the car waiting for the kids to start the car rider line, then I'll play, or different things like that. So that is my thing to do when I get bored. I also like to read, but as I said before, I'm a very focused person. So, I mean, it's a blessing and a curse, because if I get into a good book, it's like, kids want to eat. Okay, wait, I haven't read a good book in a while. I'm a big mystery fan. I love mysteries. So, mysteries can be they grab you and take you in. And so once I get into one of those, it's done. So I haven't read anything in a while, but if I go on a good vacation or road trip, then I can take a book with me, and that's something else I'll do when I get bored.